Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Terry and Gail and Andrea. I'm so glad it's Wednesday and I'm here with all of you. And if you're watching the replay, thank you. Hope you guys are doing awesome today. I am ever so grateful. Hi, Joanne. Hi, Michelle. So grateful to my husband who made it possible for me to still be here easily today. I had a complete catastrophic computer fail last night. Everything, I was showing my mom some pictures and the computer screen went black. Hey, Sharon. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Sue. The screen went completely black and nothing happened. Everything was gone. And surprisingly, I did not have a meltdown. I did not absolutely freak out. Hey, Sandy, how are you doing? I guess maybe I was just sort of in the zoned out stage since we'd been cleaning for Mom's visit and stuff, and she was here and I just wasn't thinking about it, but probably because I knew my husband was going to handle it all just fine. And we have this program that he subscribes us to called Backblaze, and it updates all our files. And within a few hours, he had the basic stuff back up and running again. And we're waiting for some other stuff to come from the backup place. But, you know, I'm functional again, and I am so grateful. Hey, Corinne. Hi, Sharon Alexander. Are you new here? If so, welcome. If you're normally a lurker, we are happy to see your name pop up on the screen. Yeah, no meltdown. I know, Sharon, wasn't that a shocker? It's an absolute shocker. I mean, there's stuff kind of different, but we'll probably get it back to mostly in order. The fact that we started using a password manager, well, that I started using when he's been using it for a while. I realize my color stuff is slightly off on me, but I think it's better on the desktop. Yeah, hooray for techie husbands. You got that right. Okay, so I do have you have been watching for a while. Okay, sorry if I didn't remember your name, but glad to see it pop up. All right, let's switch the cameras here to, nope. Wow, this is, can I do this? Yes, I can. All right, this is still not quite right. We will deal with it, and I will mess with this later. I think that's kind of, we probably don't need, all right. Going to take me a little bit of dinking around. Did I have it over here? I thought I had it on the upper left, but maybe I'm just misremembering. No, because my logo's there, so I couldn't have had it in the upper right. All right, let's try it back over here. That'll work. It'll work. It's good enough, right? All right, so I just need to move this camera so that that's better, right? Whew, but not stressing, going to just have a wonderful time here. I was so good. I did not mess with this all week. Yeah, wish you could shrink in size that fast. Wouldn't that be nice, right? I did not mess with it this week. I just tried to pick out some stuff, and then you guys can help me figure things out, right? So we got this all stitched down last week, and I know that it's going to stitch onto this. This is going to be my lining because I'm probably going to do some heat and bond, and that'll kind of stiffen everything up so it'll stand up better. So I'm not going to deal with that right now. I did cut a piece of cardboard from my bottom, which took some figuring out. I don't know. There maybe is an easier way for it, but, you know, got close enough. And I'm not sure how I'm going to deal with that, but I'm not going to worry about that. Well, okay. I'll ask you guys now because you might come up with some ideas. Then we'll come back to the actual stitching part. Okay. So I have this circular piece that's going to be the bottom, and I'm trying to figure out how best to do it. Now, the first thought I had was to create sort of like a basted circle around here so that it would all kind of gather up. I'll come back to the turquoise beads, I promise. That's going to be the first thing we're going to figure out. And then I would cut another circle to go on top of this. And then I can stitch the sides. That was the first thought I had. So if anybody else has any ideas on how to handle the bottom, please let me know. All right. So that's all I did last week was I went looking for some beads and some threads. And this is what we came up with. Okay, I've got 5 circles. So I went ahead and got a bunch of beads, and I probably only used 5. Thank you, Terry and Gail, going at the links already. You guys are awesome. Oh, I should probably maybe zoom you in a little more. Maybe that would help on that camera. Let's see. No, not that one. It'll take a while to get all the settings back where they were, but we'll get there. Okay. So here's my vessel all the way around. And what I'm not sure about on these beads, do I want to put them kind of staggered? I thought it was a little too much on the nose to put them inside the circles. But I could do that. Or I could just kind of, hey, Shauna, how are you doing today? I could do something like that. Because then I've got 2 colors of thread. So I've got, this is about the same shade as my beads. Yeah, I think she's been kind of quiet, Terry, and we are so happy to see her name there. I am awesome. My mom is here visiting. I picked her up yesterday, and she decided she wants to stay at the hotel until I was done with the show, and then I'll go back and get her and bring her over here. Zoe is absolutely in love. So you guys like them inside the circle? Because what I was thinking, because I have these 2 shades. Terry might have to get the links. Okay, no worries. Yeah, she's not here. She didn't want to stay. I said she could stay here and watch the show, but she had to get up really early to get on the plane yesterday. So she wanted to sleep in and just kind of take it easy. Maybe coil or a thicker. Yeah, I'm thinking where I attach at the bottom here is where I can do some really decorative stitching. Around where I attach it. Hello, Angela from Germany. Welcome. But how would you cover, because Terry or Corinne, you've done more of these from Lorna's class. I mean, I could just do, just tack it in here and then just cut another circle over the top. I'm just not sure. So if I put them in the circles, because what I was thinking is I'm going to use the turquoise thread to attach the rust to this. I'm going to do feather stitching on that. And then I thought I might go back over with a darker thread, but then I could also take this darker thread and just do some random seed stitches, perhaps. Because I think we need to get a little bit of dark in there to make everything else pop. I wasn't going to do them in a linear fashion, but maybe just some seed stitches in a few places. Okay, Jackie says, how about 2 circles a little larger than the cardboard and place the fabric on each side, stitch around close to the cardboard. And then, okay, so that was my original thought, and I'm probably making this much harder than it has to be because I do that really well. So then you'll have this little flap. So say if you're stitching all the way around, you're going to have this little flap that comes up, and then put the vessel inside. And then I can just stitch through this raggedy thing. So maybe I would have maybe more of something. It would be kind of like a base. I like that idea. Okay, I like that idea. That sounds a lot easier than my other one. Thank you. All right, so if I do the turquoise beads inside here, come on, this is Art by Committee today. And then I'm going to feather stitch that together. And then do you guys like the idea of some seed stitches or knots, or a combination of seed stitches and knots in this darker thread. Okay, let's do the beads first. Let's do the beads first. And I'm going to go ahead and use, stays true to my organic style. That's true. All right. And I need a needle. And because I reorganized my drawers, voila, I can go right in here. And there are my needles, and I want a 24. Boom. I am so happy with my reorg. I'm going to do a whole studio tour. Raw edge, simpler. Okay. Like that idea. You guys, the vote wins. Thank you. Seed and knots. Okay. Thanks, Sandy. My whole reorganization has been awesome. All my clear containers are working out perfectly. I'm waiting for one more set to come tomorrow. They're small project, cases, I guess. What I wanted was some that were clear, that were small and clear, but didn't have a hinged look to it. I didn't want the hinged lid. Let's see. Sharon says, I feel like the dark thread gets a bit lost. I'm wondering if a lighter color would work better. I'll let you guys look at this while I get going on. I think we go too light. I don't know. Andrea says it has a native Indian vibe, tan leather and turquoise. Yeah. Yeah, and I had totally forgotten how good turquoise looks with rust. So Sharon says, I think the beads and blue thread already pop because of the contrasting fabric color, so dark thread not so necessary. Interesting. So people, let art by committee. Okay. If I have, I did remember my water this time. Yay or nay to the dark thread? Should I stick just with the turquoise thread? Hey, Mariah. A cream even. I put all my threads. Well, I do have, whoops, sorry, bumped that camera. I do have this just to give you an idea of a cream. Very harmonious. Okay, so Sandy, do you think the dark thread is too dark? So we could, sorry, I got a big old knot here. I had to sew one of my bears back together again. You guys, Mariah has had an amazing hop over there. I just got a quick glance this morning because, again, with the computer dying, not online a whole lot. But I saw some jewelry that Patricia her mom had done for the hop. And then, of course, Diane's absolutely amazing sticks and leaves. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so if I take that dark away, and then would you add, I don't even know if you guys can see this cream. Do knots, because I want to do, after I get those things on there, maybe the dark thread. Well, I'm going to use this, this light one to stitch the rest to the cream. But then I was going to do one more color. You would do the dark thread for feather stitch. I was going to do around the couching. Interesting. YouTubers go public on Saturday. Okay, good. I think that it's a subtle compliment, the darker. Okay, you guys are no help at all today, are you? All right, so I don't know. Well, maybe what I do is, okay, what if I did some dark, just a few knots around? No to the cream. Yeah, I'm not liking the cream. It doesn't work for me. All right. You want me to go get my other blue thread, even darker? Okay, you guys want me to go get my blue threads? Hold on, because I know right where they are. Okay, let's see what we've got here with my blue threads. Even darker than this. This is like a navy. And I do like this. The cream takes away from the couching. Okay. Light or dark, not in between. This is a thicker thread. I don't have it in a thin thread. Well, it's always easy when you're deciding on somebody else's stuff, right? So this is a variegated. So we would have some, especially if I did it in seed stitch, you don't see it as much in the knots. Do you guys need to be closer? Let me move you even closer for this. There we go. That has more of a pop. Okay, let's see what else we have. This has some black in it, so I don't know. Hey, Susan, you were just working a little bit to help them out with something. Glad you made the live too. Okay, and we have a solid darker blue. This one's got more of a blue feel. Okay, let's see what else we have in here. So we want to be darker than this. This is also interesting. Let's see. I don't want to go lighter. I know that myself. I do not want to go lighter. I think this is about the same color. There is that. Oh, you guys are so much fun. So much fun. That's about the same. Hey, Barbara. How are you doing today? Let's see. What is this? All right. Let's narrow things down so we can do a vote. Where's Fiona? She always likes art by committee. All right. I'm going to eliminate things that I don't like. All right. Got the round ball. So this is the one we're eliminating, is this one. Okay, don't vote yet. Let me lay these things out. I'm going to go. These are all kind of close. And they're all going to go with this turquoise. Wait a minute, guys. Let me lay them all out. I know there's a delay. All right. No. I don't like that one, so it goes away. And I don't like this one, so it goes away. All right. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. Okay. And we're eliminating this one because you guys, whoops, let me scoot it over a little bit. And this we're definitely keeping because it matches the beads. So this does have a lot of the similar colors. So we could do this, or do you want to go really dark? Let's see, I need to move you guys back. I moved you too close, I think. So you can see everything. Okay. So we have a 6 and a 5. But there you go. It should be better on screen now, Sharon. I just moved it over. I'm going to sip my water. We have the number 3 with the similar colors. 3. All right, so we have these 3 that are getting their votes. These guys aren't getting any votes. So I'm going to take them out. All right, we're down to 3. Yeah, so this is what we're at, 3, 5, and 6. If we want to stay just sort of similar, 3 and 6, this is kind of flat. So I'm going to take that one away. All right, we're down to 2. Hey, Angie, how are you doing? And this is what I'm feeling is right there. I'm feeling that. I'm no longer feeling the dark. Just start stitching with the one you want to begin with. Well, that's true. All right, I'm going to leave this one aside just in case. I'm going to get the beads on. But I'm thinking this variegated might be a nice, okay, I've got both of these together, and I think that might be a nice combo because they seem to be both in that same warm family. Okay, so let's get the beads on. And this is a thicker thread, so I might end up stitching with that first because I really like the idea of stitching this to the larger fabric with 2 threads. And since this one's, well, maybe it's not thicker. I thought this was I have no vision for this one, Sharon. This was literally just one of the kits that I was going to make a doodle cloth out of. And then I decided I wanted to play with a vessel. So we're just rolling with it. And I'm happy that I'm getting better at rolling with things. Okay, let's stitch the beads on. And then, because that's going to be easy. Except, okay, now we have to decide, do the beads go in the center? Yeah, they have to go in this, mostly in the center. There has to be a little bit of space around them, I think. Oh, I don't need to have you quite so zoomed in now. There, that gives you a little more room. Whew! But you're glad I changed. The other color was getting lost for you. Yeah. And it's, here's the wonderful thing about art is that it's not brain surgery. So, I could get all this thing stitched together and then decide I don't like any of it and take the scissors to it. It's fine. Oh, I didn't think to check. Okay, yeah, these are pretty big beads. Whoops, forgot to put a knot in it. So now tell me, guys, what's going on in your end of the world? What is happening? What are you working on? I've got a huge bulletin board coming tomorrow for the studio, or no, coming on Friday, I guess, for the studio. That's one of the last couple things I'm waiting for. Let's see. I don't want the bead. Well, because these beads are irregular sizes, they're not gonna. Yeah, the turquoise and rust, what a great combo, right? You probably don't need a double one through, but just in case. It's not like this is gonna have some heavy stuff. Barbara felt like gluing things today, so I'm collaging some alpha dividers. Nice. There is something I was going to cover with paper and glue, and I forgot what it was. Sue said, I finished the Jane Austen reproduction print quilt top, then finished a Halloween quilt top, waiting for yardage to be delivered for the backs. Wow, you have been productive. That is awesome. Congratulations. That Jane Austen quilt was just gorgeous. Susan says, I love the haul I purchased from your shop, Susan. I already used some of the buttons. Excited to use the fabric. Oh, I'm glad you're happy with everything. Thank you for letting me know. And thank you, everybody that supported the shop. Jackie is crocheting a plate holder, pot holder for the microwave. Oh, Jackie or Andrea. Blah, blah, blah. Michelle is doing more textile collage with slow stitching. Nice. Andrea has been decorating my shoe a little bit more. Mariah's working on new stencils. Oh, bees and beetles. Oh, people, you need to check out Mariah's shop for the stencils. Bees and beetles, those should be so popular. I am just like, I started working on the trees again today because now I have room. My other desk behind me now has been cleaned off of stuff that only got occasional use. It was like, well, why has it got prime real estate? And so now it's been moved over. The paint stuff has been moved to the baskets underneath the desk, easy to get to when I need them, but no rush to have it out all the time. And so I could spread out another project so I could just go from here over there to work on it. Corinne is making lots of tomato sauce for freezing, making tiny lobster man dolls. Oh, just finished a sweet little journal. You have been busy. Wow. Do you find it easier to work at camp, Corinne, or is it pretty much the same as working at home? I think all the inspiration for that beautiful nature. Sharon, you will not believe all the clean spaces. I got to do lots of pictures. I'm waiting for my other bulletin board to get here. Okay, I really want these to lay differently. Okay, guys, what's the trick with a big bead like this? So when the big bulletin board gets here and I get the small containers. Hey, Laurie, how are you doing? Then I will do a tour because I'm so excited. I mean, I have empty space on my shelves. I have a few empty clear containers left. Everything is exactly where I wanted it to be stored with easy access. Terry's been using my Sizzix to cut wings for my angel Christmas ornaments. Okay, this one is not cooperating. Let's see, what's up? So some of you that follow me on Facebook already know this, but if not, my huge announcement this week was that my son got engaged, and I am just over the moon because we absolutely love his girlfriend. And this wonderful young man has got, well, I guess he's not so young anymore. He's 40 something, 42, 43. Okay, I got to undo this and start it over. Go through the bead twice and you may be able to get it till maybe so. It's because of needing to tend the garden. Harvesting thing. Oh, okay. I will go through the bead again, but I think I need, I made a mess of this one. But anyways, my son, because of his muscular dystrophy, he's had a hard time meeting somebody that would accept him with all his physical disabilities. And I tell you what, these two are just awesome together. And I am so excited. Yeah, super exciting. So they're coming up to visit on Sunday, and my mom doesn't know. They wanted to surprise her. So she hasn't seen him in probably 20 years. So that's going to be really exciting. I hadn't seen my mom in 10 years. Terry's harvesting tomatoes. I'm starting to make eggplant parmesan. For you eggplant lovers, that would not be me. We have lots of oranges on the tree, and it take forever to ripen. Waiting for figs. Yeah, wasn't it a great engagement photo? They take such wonderful photos. There is not a single time that they are not just radiating love and happiness and just, yeah. So, yeah, my mom's going to be totally shocked. All right, let's try this again. Luckily, there's only 5 beads, so then I can get on to doing some actual stitching. Yeah, I can't wait to see Terry's angel ornaments too. I think they're going to be amazing. Okay, let's pay attention to how I want this to lay. I want it to lay here. I think I'm going to have a little bit of decision paralysis, though, after mom leaves. It's like, okay, so now what project do I what was really nice is changing the containers things are stored in reminded me of some projects that really wouldn't take that long to finish. So I think I might do some of those first, because then the next time I want to stock the shop, I'll have some new stuff. It is, Sharon, so heartwarming to see your children so happy. It's just an amazing feeling. Gonna go pick up Izzy. We'll try to make it back later. Well, it's lovely to see you pop in for however much time you have, Mariah. I've missed you. All right, that one worked better. Yeah, the whole clean out process, for some reason this time, a couple of people had said, well, we've seen you clean your studio before, you know, what's the big deal? I was like, you know, yeah, because it's a constant thing. We always have to do that. Sandy, she says, thank you for inviting us into your happy all the time. Oh, and by the way, the reason I didn't post my happy yesterday on my community page on YouTube is because you can't do that from your iPad or your phone. Community pages are only available on the computer. And since the computer died, was not able to do that. So I'll be able to do that tonight. But this time cleaning the studio, I felt like I made some big internal jumps. I learned some stuff. Well, I'm not going to start anything new, Sharon. I really want to concentrate on getting some things finished. I want to finish trees, but when I looked at how much on your community page, Shauna, because I didn't think I could do community pages on my phone. I'll have to take another look at that. I might have just been so exhausted from both, you know, grabbing mom and getting all the stuff settled and then realizing that I couldn't, that my computer had died. Angie says, oh, and a reminder to everybody, make sure you are in live chat and not top chat. Oh, you do it. Okay, Shauna, thank you. I will check that out. I must have just been looking on my iPad and not gotten any farther than that. Angie said, just got done rusting coffee dyeing fabric and paper, and now I'm making collage papers to look like Venetian plaster. Oh, wow. I can't wait to go look at those. When you bring up YouTube on your phone app, there will be a plus sign. Bless your heart, Shauna. Thank you. Because there are times that I want to post that from the phone. It's just a pain to get over to the computer. Love knowing that. Thank you. Sharon says, you sure did, Susan. Your studio clean out has been transforming. But, you know, it's the internal transformation, Sharon, that have been kind of surprising to me. I think I wasn't ready before for all the internal changes, and now I am. Shauna says, click on that plus sign and you will see a create post. Oh, thank you, Shauna. You are a rock star. I appreciate it. That is just what I needed to know. Sometimes when we're away from home and I want to do it, I just have my phone. Sandy says, girl, when you go for a walk and create from your nature hall, I'm leaning in and drooling. Yeah, that's one of the things on my to-do list. Oh, Sue forgot to get a sandwich. She's going to go get one now. Okay. All right, I need some more thread. Just a little more thread. And then we'll have another decision to make. All right, I don't need a lot of thread. Corinne said, you've inspired me to try and reorganize when I move home. You know, Corinne, I thought I had done so much when I did the last, the huge D-stash sale and then sold on Patty's channel, which I got to check in with her again because I need to get set up to do that. Because there's still a lot. If you haven't shopped, there's a lot of stuff still over in the shop. You can go check it out, including a Victorian photo album that's still got some pictures in it. It's got some beautiful botanical stuff in there too. The first time I did it, I was just sort of, you know, kind of cleaning up my messes. And this time I really, really stopped to think about, am I going to use this again? Did I enjoy using it the last time? And I really made myself, you know, not make a decision until I had thought about it, things like that. And it made a huge difference to me, huge difference. I mean, I just feel my energy feels better when I walk into the studio. Sandy says, Susan, that's what sets you apart. Your organic approach is so liberating for me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, then you're going to love some of the stuff that's coming up, I think. I hope. Sharon said, oh, yes, I'm talking internal. I think letting go of things that no longer brought you joy because they were no longer in line with your vision has been so incredible. Yep. Yep. Oh, Barbara says tomorrow is the autumn equinox, and that is a great time for cleaning out and sorting out. That's good to know. Well, I don't have more to get rid of right now. I've got the garage to work on, but I don't think my mom wants to sit out in the garage with me while I sort there. I think my husband's probably taken 25 to 30 boxes to Goodwill. Sharon says, I'm sure I heard the weight lift from your voice as you spoke about your process in your art. Ah, thank you. Yeah, I got some videos to do, and depending on what, mom gets to call the shots while she's here. So depending on when she wants to come over and when she wants to have some quiet time, I'll start getting on those. Narrowing my vision has broadened yours, Sandy. Well, I guess that's good, even though you ended up with a whole bunch of my stuff. Thank you for that. And the more you get into the right zone, I think that's it, is once you get into the right zone, it's better. And then you're in the right frame of mind, it gets easier to let go. Whereas I used to hold on to things thinking, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I would have done this if I had more time. I could have done this if I, take the time to learn the skills. I should have finished this. And in a lot of cases, it was like, no, I just wanted to try it and I'm done. And it was okay to either pass them on or toss them. A lot of stuff went to Goodwill that somebody else is going to have fun playing with. That's fine. A lot of stuff went to the garbage. Well, to recycling. We try not to put too much into the garbage. Barbara says, I'm planning to let the season help me too. I need to wade through a hugely cluttered corner of my studio. Yeah, and it's the clutter that really was weighing me down. I mean, it literally felt like an anchor over me. And I don't feel like I have that now. I feel very light. And of course, everything feels like there's more room because there's not, literally on my shelves, it would be like looking at, like this on every shelf. And it's like, well, I want the thing that's on the bottom. And it was just insane. It was crazy making. Yeah, Terry, you got it. She said, one huge difference in this clean out this clean out has brought about focus and clarity on your forward movement. Yes. It's like, okay, you guys haven't seen me work with paper in a long time. And maybe some of you will say, I don't want to see you work with paper, but I still love paper. I was a writer for nearly 30 years. I am a paper stationery lover from way back, but I had fallen out of love with paper because I was weighed down by so much of it that it didn't speak to me. And now I walk in there and I look at the paper and I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember making these. I'm ready to do more. I'm ready to play with this again. I'm ready to make a bunch of pages and see what they turn into. Yeah, the clutter, and it just becomes, even like we had never really hung a lot of art on the walls. At the old house, I had a lot of original art that I had bought from my books that had been published, and they were hanging on the walls. And it was lovely, and I enjoyed it. And a lot of it was like in our huge library. But I realized here I needed empty spaces on the walls where sometimes I can plan for future projects there, but mostly it's that I needed to rest because there's so much visual noise everywhere. Oh, and a bonus from the computer dying is my husband ran to Best Buy last night to get a new hard drive, and he's ordered me a new laptop, but it will ship sometime in the next month or so. We don't know when it's going to get here. But he was going to have to replace the drive in it anyways to get a better SSD drive in it. So he went ahead and got the one that he was going to put in the new computer and put it in my old computer right now to get everything up and running again. So then that'll be set up just perfectly. Then all he's going to have to do is swap the drives, and I'm going to have a laptop here that can be set up at my filming station all the time. I won't have to trade back and forth. Sandy says, my shopping friends just drop me off in the paper aisle at Hobby Lobby and come back after I've had time to pet everything. Yeah. Yeah. Michelle said, since I moved last year, I got rid of lots of stuff, so I'm enjoying collecting a few things again. Yeah, because now you have the room to kind of pick what you want to work with, what you're working with now. Okay, and I have a little container to put these things out of my way. All right. These guys are sewn on. Angie said, this year I cleaned out my art room and my craft room. I feel so free and more creative. Now I want to decorate my art room just like I want it. Yes. You want to feel that positive energy when you walk into the space. Okay. I had a needle over here. I want to not lose it. Okay. Now the decision is to put this together. I don't know. There's probably a right side and a wrong side to wool, but I'm just going to use what I like the looks of and what's going to be the top and what's going to be the bottom. I think that's the top. And if I make the, okay, here's my thinking on this. Let me pull you back just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. Okay. This is my top because it's a neat straight edge. It doesn't matter that I have a crooked edge at the bottom because it's going to be stitched into my circle. This has a long bit hanging down, so I want that at the top because I figure I'm going to hang some beads or something on there, maybe, or maybe just some knots. That's my rationale on there. Now, I'm going to feather stitch this to this. Sandy says, I have 50 years of accumulated supplies from teaching art. I think I might need to purge too tomorrow. It's hard. And then I sent you a whole bunch of stuff that you have to sort through. Oh. Okay. So I'm going to definitely be using this turquoise. And I'm going to be using this dark, well, this variegated. What I'm thinking I'm going to do is, and maybe I'll do this one first. I'm going to do the darker one first, and then I'm going to go back over it. Might be easier to attach the cylinder to the bottom if I have the straight edge. It's mostly straight, but I'm going to let it be really raw down there at the bottom. So I think that's going to be okay because I wanted a straight edge at the top. All right, first let's pin this together, and then I'm going to do the dark. And I'm not going to worry about being precise because there's going to, oh, maybe I want to do this, scoot this over. Let's think about this. If I scoot this to the end, then I have an empty space for the flap for stitching it closed. Yeah, I think that's what I need to do. All right. Did not bring any safety pins, but that's okay. No, I don't want that great big one. No, I might not have a choice. I don't know if I have enough of the others. I didn't think to ask you guys, can you hear me okay? My microphone's a little bit farther away than it used to be. But if you can hear me okay, that's actually great because it gives me more desk space. So smart. So smart. Thank you. So smart. All right. We're going to take this out of the way. This we don't need. This we're not going to use. A lot of new habits. Sound is good? Okay, good. That means my microphone can stay off to the side. All right, I want another 24. Oh, I love having these needles right here. This has been worth all the time I have put in. All the time. I'm speaking Pig Latin to you, Sandy. Yeah, only Pig Latin to you. I don't know if I still remember Pig Latin. Let's see. Okay, good. Thank you, everybody. Glad the sound is good. Sue Foley isn't here, right? Was she the person that I haven't been able to get onto Facebook to do much. I'm going to try and do that later today. But I saw a post in the group And I think she was the one that did it. She was trying to do an all over texture piece and she gave up on it and put it in her stitch journal and decided not to work on it anymore. And I was wondering about just like say I decided I didn't like this, but I wanted to still use what was here and make it all texture. I would just keep going over it and building up the layers and keep going over it. I'm randoming. You guys, I'm going to be like my brain's on a pinball machine. And I'm boop, 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 all over the place. I got to figure out the color on the camera where my face is kind of washed out. Uge, ute, orque. There we go. Go to work. Thank you. Oge, ute, orque. Yeah. And there was a song. Oh, Barbara, do you remember it? Be like Susanna, Anna, Bobana, Fifi, Fofana. Oh my goodness, I love that one. It was so much fun. Okay. Wow, I haven't done stitching for so long. So let's think. Isn't this great? My old teacher's desk. This came from the physics department at Berkeley, Barbara. I do need to get a piece of glass, though, to go over the top of it, although that's going to cause some reflections, but that will protect it a little more, I think. Now I'm second guessing whether I should have a straight edge there. Now I'm thinking maybe. Hi, Paint Girly. Welcome. Happy to have you join us. Yeah, what a legacy, right? Found it on Craigslist for like, I don't know. I think maybe we rarely paid more than $100 for anything on Craigslist. I'm not going to like the imbalance, so I'm going to scoot this over. Organic all the way. Meaning what? Organic all the way where? Miss Sandy, I need more information, please. And I'm thinking about my base, so I'm going to give. All right, I think this is going to be better. I'm using one that looks exactly the same vintage. Used to belong to Vern Lundquist, the sports announcer for WFAA TV in Dallas. Isn't that cool to have the history of the piece? I love that. My other desk behind me is also an old oak library desk, and I've debated getting another, principal teacher's desk like this. Oh, the edge was fine. Well, what I'm thinking about was where I was going to do the stitching, and the feather stitching was going to not overlap here, so it bothered me. It was going to bug me, and if it was going to bug me, I didn't want to have to take it out later when I was off camera. Oh, Lori, Paint Girly. Thank you. Thank you, Gail. Got rock star moderators. I tell you, you guys are killing it. All right, so now it doesn't matter where I start, but it's going to, okay. Let's see. So my feather stitch is going to go, I just realized something. Now I'm thinking, and what's great about my oak table is it's got room for 3 big baskets underneath it, and then 3 more baskets underneath the base, and it's got a big drawer. So since it's in the living room, it makes it look nice and clean. I'm going to do very small feather stitches, I guess. Because normally a feather stitch is not a straight line. Oh, you're a huge Paint Girly fan. Nice. Yeah, Rockstar Mods. Yep. So, Lori, tell us about your painting. What kind of, since I can't go check you out right now. It's not that I don't want to do the feather stitch. Let's see. All right. So I'm a basket case right now and we can't see. But you'll see it. When I do the pictures later, you'll see it. All right, maybe we'll start here because it'll be easier to go wide. And if I consider this my middle, I mean, I could actually just feather stitch the whole thing here. It's been a while. It has been a while. Let's see. Threads. I have a container for threads right there on my desk now. Whether I can get in the habit of doing it all the time, I don't know. Okay, I got to find my stitching zone. Barbara says, one thing I can tell you about Lori Paint Girly is that her doodling on junk journals are one of the big inspirations to one of my other favorites, Tanya McGuire. Lots of doodling going on. Oh, lovely. All right. I shouldn't have started it there. I'm going to move it over. There's always, when I first start feather stitching, there's always some hemming and hawing back and forth thing. I actually, when I reset up the desk behind me, I put my drawing books and my drawing pins in the drawer and my drawing books on top of the desk so I can actually go back and practice my drawing. That's my plan. I was actually surprised to see how many different books I had started and then put aside. All right, whoops. I hope this looks like what I'm, I think this is the right stitch for this. We'll see. I mean, when is the feather stitch not the right stitch, right? Lori said, years ago, I did folk art, toll-like painting, and assumed the Paint Girly name, which I like, but have grown into journals, drawing, coloring, etc. Hey, you stick with the name that claims you as much as you claim it. Sometimes we have to try it on a few times. I wonder if the no, don't second guess, right? Don't second guess. But I'm second guessing, guys. If I did the fern stitch, but I wouldn't be able to do the overlap. No, I'm going to catch the rest of it in the overlap with the other color. Gail said, I haven't done much feather stitch. I need to work. It's one of my favorites, but again, I have not picked up a needle and thread to stitch in probably 2 weeks. Sue says, a library of unfinished journals. Sandy says, Lori, I started as a wood carver and am now doing journals. Lori said, I did not expect to see anyone I knew here. Isn't that awesome, though? This is such a great group. Surprise, yeah. Andrea said, I've just learned feather stitch and can't wait to use it. It's just, to me, it's a very relaxing stitch to do, and you get so much variety. And what I love doing it like with a variegated like this. And then, like I said, later, I'm going to come back over it. So it'll have some overlap with this one. I got lots of fuzzies. And that's okay, because fuzzy. Oh, one of the other things I did, I refilled, I guess you would say, my cluster cart. Because I have been completely sold out of clusters for a while and I need to make more of those. So I had fun time filling that up. Sue said, I tried to do the twig stitch the other day, fail. I have to go watch the tutorial again. I need to make a better tutorial. I realize the reason I have not done more stitch tutorials is because evidently I'm not good at it. So I need to try again and see if I can do some better ones, because I would like to do more. Yeah, this, I can already tell this is going to go a different direction from the way I had planned it. And I'm going to try to be okay with that, because a plan just means That is the step, that direction I'm taking. It doesn't mean I have to stay there. I really want to kind of randomize this. Terry said, I've been making jewelry for over 30 years, but my adventures have been taking me into all kinds of mediums. Yeah, so what did you start off with jewelry-wise, and then how has that evolved for you? I think it's interesting to see the way our loves, our passions take us in different directions. I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, but let's see what this is. I'm thinking if I do some of them kind of, just kind of random. They're not all going to catch this the first time, hence the pins. Blah, blah, blah. You guys, honestly, my brain, I feel like I only had 2 coffees today too, but I feel very hyped up. Scenic route. There is no other route with me, Sandy. If you were driving with me, a good friend of mine, we go to writing conferences together many years ago, and I would drive and she would navigate, and we'd be talking and we would miss turns over and over again. And it would be like, okay, got to make a U-turn. Absolutely have to make a U-turn. So many things that, and they always took us on interesting little routes too. Let's see, this is not quite pulled snug. So let's get that a little snugger, more snug. There we go. So we'd be, doing something and be like, it must be time for a U-turn. Michelle said, Terry, I know what you mean. I keep learning new things. I start out doing jewelry, then mixed media, then textile. Gail said, interesting, Terry. I went from needlework to jewelry making, then to painting and mixed media, then card making, and back to needlework. Michelle said, I started off making earrings. I made a ton of them and enjoyed it a lot. Terry said, I started making jewelry and barrettes of polymer clay and then put tiny holes across the bottom for beaded fringe. Ooh. And I know, Lori, I love it too when all our creative juices start to overlap because they take us in directions that we never expected to go. Okay, here's a question. What crafty thing are you doing now that in the past you never thought would be something that you would enjoy doing? And I know for me, it's stitching. Never, ever would I have figured I would be enjoying stitching as much as I am. So what is something that you are doing now that you didn't think was gonna be in your life? Some things I thought I was going to use a lot more, like my wax seals. I love them. I have beautiful wax seals. And it's like, I need to start doing something with them or else let them go. So they're one of those things I hemmed and hawed over. And I've got a couple of ideas to play with. But if that doesn't work out, then they'll go in my next stash. Stitching, says Jackie. Yeah. One of the things my mom had said when she was here, that she had also tried stitching when she was younger and been disappointed because it wasn't as nice as some of the other stitching that she had seen. And I think so many times we tend to let go of things that we might be excited about doing over time. But we have to give ourselves time to get better at it, to get the skills. Terry said, I never thought that I would be teaching paint classes. Oh, that's a good one. Sandy, watching YouTube instead of having my hands in a mess. Gail, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I grow up. Oh, don't grow up. Growing up is completely overrated, right? Sue said, I never anticipated playing with paper or making journals. Sharon says, sewing and stitching. It still shocks me that I'm doing that. I loved, you showed something, a fabric cover recently, Sharon, that I just thought was really, really, I'm so behind on catching up on things, guys. I'm sorry. I really did let this this clean out take over my life. And I'm okay with that. I'm not beating myself up about it. It needed to be done. Michelle said, I never thought I would enjoy dyeing fabrics so much. I'm playing with all the colors. Nice. Lori said, recently I decided to pursue portrait, animal, and human color pencil work. Oh my goodness, the detail and the eye that you need for that. That's wonderful. Barbara says, Terry, I've made a bunch of polymer clay beads in the past year, still using them on projects today. Moved on to seed beads and then lots of beaded earrings. Now that medium is too small for my kludgy hands. Yeah, the tiny beads are tough. Gail says, oh, I know what it is that I like that I didn't know I would. Altering books and mixed media. Kathy, hi, but you're in bed with COVID? That stinks. I'm so sorry. Gosh, I hope it's not a horrible case. Terry says, I'm not growing up, just getting creaky. Barbara says, I never thought I'd be drawing anything, but I love Zentangles, and I find that I'm drawing more and more. Sorry, I'm trying to get caught up on my chat here. Michelle said I have wax seals also that I need to play with again. I think I'm just going to make a whole bunch of them and then glue them onto things. Yeah, that's a good thought. Sandy says, when I found the junk journal world and all that it entails, it's like I fell into my sweet spot. I'm home with all of you and it feels amazing. Junkie Tan, hello, bonjour. She said, could you tell me what kind of alcohol ink do you use for dyeing fabrics? I have done some today with watercolor ink, but want to do it with alcohol ink. Thank you, and I love your work so much. Oh, I appreciate your kind words. I use all the brands of alcohol ink on my fabric. The Tim Holtz brands, the Marabou. There's a whole lot of new ones that have come out since then. But I use all of them. And it depends on what you want to do with it. If I'm just using the alcohol inks with nothing else, like it's going to go into a journal or something, I just like maybe saturate it with alcohol, saturate the fabric with alcohol, and then squish the alcohol inks through it. You can also, if you want to make stiff journal pages out of fabric, you can put some clear gesso on your fabric and then do your alcohol inks just like you would on any other paper. And that works really well too. But any brand of alcohol ink is going to work on fabric. Just remember that alcohol ink is not color fast. So if it's going to go on the wall where it's going to get a lot of sun, you're going to need to seal it with something. Terry says, I love portraits. Yeah, you guys that can do that, I'm just amazed. Kathy is Sharon sends you some feel better soon. Hey, Regina, she says landscape quilting. She didn't think she would be doing that. Tweezers. Wait a minute. What are tweezers for, Terry? Michelle's enjoying the sun stitching. All the best wishes to you from everybody. Kathy, to feel better soon. Corinne says eco dyeing and natural dyes for me. Oh, slow stitching, not sun stitching. Okay. I thought that's what you meant, but I didn't want to assume. Feel better soon. Yeah. Let's see. Gail said, I did not enjoy portraits at all. Merci beaucoup, she says. Or he says, I'm sorry, I'm not sure, Junkie Tan, male or female. Excuse me if I got the gender wrong. I wish I remembered more of my French, but I do not. Nor do I remember much of my German. Sharon said, discovering journal making aligned the planets for me. It just feels so right. Yeah, when you find your sweet spot, that was me and fabrics. Align the planets for you, Sharon. Barbara loves that thought. Keeping that quote in my daily journal. Oh, tweezers are great when you have chunky fingers. Yes, I agree. I especially like, let's see if they're here. I like these with the little tips on them. They make it really easy for seed beads. And look at that, people. They were right where I thought they would be. Huh? Are you impressed? Because I am. So impressed. I'm not going to get a whole lot of this done, am I? But I will tell you guys now, I will probably keep working on this off camera. Hey, Sherry, how are you doing today? Funny thing, I was thinking of you when I was rolling my cart over the carpet yesterday. Funny how certain things just kind of stick in your head. And I remembered our conversation from last week. So I think this is going to look good, but I think it's going to get another level of good when the other color gets on it. That's what I think. Wait, Christina, did I miss somebody? Did somebody else sneak in? Oh, painting for you, Andrea. I missed that. I don't see a Christina, but if there is a Christina here, welcome. Let's see. You know, when I'm this hyped up, that means I am going to crash, right? There's Christina. Hi, Christina. How are you? Great colors, aren't they? Sorry, I keep moving out of frame. Gail said, yeah, I'm learning all sorts of aids for this aging body of mine. Magnifying glasses, grips for pencils and crochet hooks, needle threaders. You know, and there's nothing wrong with using those little extras. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I was thinking of her as I rolled my cart over the carpet because she was worried about would that work. A good needle threader will have to be in my future. Yeah, and you know, here because I have my drawer handy. I had mine right here. I love these Colonial needle threaders, and they are on my. I have a video, some of my favorite tools. What I like is this one's kind of bent out of shape, but it's got two sizes. So if you're doing any of the thicker threads, you can get both of them. And I don't know, I really like them. And I like that I had misplaced both of these needle threaders. You know, I do have some of the, those cheap little silver ones because they're nice to have around. But I had misplaced both of my needle threaders and my, what do you call them? My seam rippers. And I found all of those when I cleaned my stuff. When will the dates be for the next Zoom session? Well, let's talk about that. I have a request from somebody who works a day job to do a Tuesday evening for me. If I go later in the day, oh, the size you want. Oh, Sue, send us the link in the group. Okay, please. Andrea, if I go later than this time for you, it gets into late night, right? So I might end up doing 3 in October so that everybody has a chance to get the time frame they want. I will, maybe that's a good thing. I can do those tonight. And, oh, I know what I'll do, Andrea. I will put up a poll in the group. And then you guys can help me figure out what dates and times work for you guys. How's that? Hey, Lori. You were so inspired by Susan to organize. I forgot to check in here. Now it's true. You get very inspired by organizing. Lots to play with. Glad to see you here. It was so much fun to have you in our Zoom session last week. Yeah, I will put a poll up in the group and then we can figure out 2 or 3 dates. I just know I need to do one that's going to be later on a Tuesday, but I could do a Tuesday morning and a Tuesday night. And I want to keep them on Tuesdays and Thursdays because that works for my other, I can alternate with my other meetings that I do. All right. I have a plan for this thing and I'm liking the way this is going now. Thanks for helping me pick out these other colors here. I do think one more of this. Yeah, the Colonial needle threaders, it's nice. And I went ahead and I bought a couple and I was almost ready to buy more. But now I've got 3 needle threaders and 3 seam rippers, which means if I leave one on the studio island, it's okay. If I leave one on this desk, it's okay. I kind of want them in a couple of different places. Terry's asking for the likes. Thank you. Appreciate that. You like it against the edge? Yeah. And I'm going to do another layer around. Okay, let's be smart and stop. I love using a variegated thread with the feather stitch because you really get to see, and then putting this other color to alternate. And what I probably want to do, and you quilters will probably agree with me, because of the tendency, you know, since I'm not stitching down in the center. Oh, you know what? Now I'm thinking about this. I'm thinking, yeah, it's a great stitch, isn't it, Lori? I was thinking about how in quilting you start in the center and work out, and how there could be a tendency to puff things up because I'm going all the way around the edge. Maybe I should decide now. Okay, wait a minute. Let's tie this off. And then we're going to come up front and make a decision, make a discussion. Yeah, wasn't it, Lori? The Zoom was wonderful. She said, getting to connect with folks that we've seen on the lives. It just brings a different dimension. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I'm glad you guys are too. Okay. So quilters for Sue, if she's back, and Barbara, and any other quilters we have. I'm thinking how, even though I've got this pinned down, it's going to have a tendency to get some space in between here. So maybe I should do some stitches in here before I continue to do the feather stitch around. And if that's the case, do I do, because now we're back to making a decision on this. Do I do some knots in seed stitch, mixing these colors? It's kind of what I'm thinking, is just some random seed stitch. Yeah, that would be smart. Yeah, center out. Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good plan. But that's okay, because you guys got to see what the idea is going to be for this. All right. So I'm going to start right here. And I'm thinking, oh boy. Lori said, your personal kit ideas is a great idea for all of us. You have so much stash. It really helps. You could just go grab something. It's like, okay, I just need a little something to kind of de-stress with. Seed stitch. So I could seed stitch all around, and then later I can come in and add some knots, some Colonial knots, because I love those. All right, I think that's what I'm going to do. Clusters of seed stitch, yeah. Dibs. All right, yeah, I should have thought of that before I went on. I'm obviously not a quilter, so I don't think about that center out until I get into the middle of a mess and think, oh, wait a minute. Robin's eggs and nests. Yeah, it does kind of look, doesn't it? The little beads kind of look like robin's eggs. Wow, I have been threading my needles without a threader. I am impressed with me. Okay. Clusters of knots, yeah. Okay, knots are, well, knots or seed stitch, knots or seed stitch. So, okay, let's think. If I did in the corners, okay, what if, yeah, not seed, I see you guys are having the same thing. What if I did kind of seed stitches in the corners, just a couple right now, anywhere there's a corner there, and then, I really have a hard time doing randomizing. I always have a hard time randomizing. I love doing knots. I'm not going to do any bullion knots on this. I already made up my mind about that. Start in the center. Yes. So here's my center. And what I want to do is not overdo the seed stitch. So like just a few. All right, we're going to start right here. Okay, here we go. And we'll just do one little set of seed stitches and see what we think. And didn't I have, let's see, wait a minute here, I just had a thought. No, okay. Cannot do random. I always end up with a pattern. I know, Andrea, and I do too. And I really want to practice. It sounds funny to say I want to practice being random, but that's what it is. I want to practice being more random. Embrace the serendipity, right? Oh, I knew I was going to like the seed stitch on here, though. I knew that. There's just something about watching a seed stitch. And I'll bring you down a little lower to show you what I'm thinking about. Yeah, I was kind of thinking about the running stitches, but that was a little too much like a pattern. What I like about a seed stitch in wool is how it sinks in. So it becomes a part. It seems like more of a part. Boy, this fuzzy yarn. It just sort of, it just kind of sinks into the, that's not in focus very well. Yeah, you can't really see it. Sorry about that. I turned off the autofocus and it doesn't like it then when I move the camera. Right brain. Yeah. Sue, is it hard for you as a quilter to do random? Because I remember you saying like the Just Because books were kind of tough for you because you're so used to all the precision with your quilting. Yeah, just a little bit. Thank you, Barbara. Said it's pretty. The types of fabric you're stitching on makes a big difference. It just, you can let it, I mean, if you don't pull it really tight, it doesn't sink. And you got to be careful because, again, another good reason to start in the center. If I'm not starting in the center and I pull tightly, everything's going to pucker. That's not super tight. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 5. If I do 7, because I like odd numbers and nature likes odd numbers. You know, and you can do something that's random. Okay, I'll show you my idea. This is what's going to make it take longer, is just getting all that other stuff out. Lori said, anyone lives near Flagstaff, Arizona? I'm considering relocating. I don't know where my mom is in relationship to Flagstaff. She is in Surprise. Sue says it depends on the situation. I don't seem to have trouble doing random in certain circumstances. Okay, I don't want to stitch there. Lori said, great use of eyelash. Have to rethink donating mine to Goodwill. I got rid of a lot of mine, but I kept colors that seemed like they would work. I like to use them on landscape stuff. It's sort of, you know, it can look like a plant depending on what you do with it, especially if you cut a tiny piece and you're just stitching that tiny piece on. All right, so that's given me 7. All right, so now let's look at this. Now I could come back. Shoot, let me turn the autofocus on. I'll try not to make you guys dizzy. I think this will help. Okay. So I've got 7 here. So I can do 7 here, and it's random, but it's still kind of a pattern. Requires focus and determination. Yeah. And I could come in, I could fill the whole thing with seed stitch, but what I'm trying not to do is make it too time intense for me, because I've got so much seed stitch to do on the trees picture that I think it's going to take me a long time. But I could do seed stitch here, bring you down. Okay, seed stitch here, and then maybe some knots here. I don't know. Now maybe seed stitch here, knots here, and knots here. Or maybe just some knots in amongst. Surprise is a town, yeah. Oh, I know. I'm not going to try not to count the stitches, but I just was kind of doing that to start with as I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. A few seed stitches in your corners might be enough to secure the central area of the piece. Yeah. Yeah, if I just kind of went in each of these corners here, and then I can think about the knots. I wouldn't be able to count them on everything that I was doing. You need to leave, Corinne. See you all next week. More seed stitches. Yes. Have a good week, Corinne. Barbara says, Lori, Flagstaff is a beautiful area. My car broke down just outside of there, and I spent a lovely week in Williams, Arizona, riding the train to the Grand Canyon. Ooh. All right. I think this is what I'm going to do is I think I'm just going to hit some seed stitches, just a few, and maybe not even as many as I did there. Although if I don't do at least as many, it's going to, the balance has to be right. I think that's what you called it, Sandy. It's if the balance is right, the rest of it doesn't matter. But your eye needs to look at it and feel satisfied. Andrea says, I use different intensity of seed stitches to create shade. I admire that. Jackie says, lived in Flag for 4 years, loved it. Did a lot of day trips in surrounding areas, stayed away from anything below Verde Valley as much as possible. Think Surprise is in the White Mountains, east of Phoenix. Yeah, start with the clusters of seed stitches and fill them in later with knots. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I'll be able to tell where I need. I probably will only need a few sporadic knots just for a different level of texture. Okay, this eyelash trim, though, is making me insane. Seed stitches normally go really quick. Oh, you know what I'll probably do? Maybe I'll just come back in later and I can just snip them with the scissors. Yeah, she lives in Surprise, which is actually closer to Buckeye. It's very strange. All I know is that it's in the desert and it's a long ways away from everything. Yeah, balance for the intensity. You're right, Sandy. Barbara says, Williams, Arizona. Back then, the fabric shop was open at 7:30 in the morning when I wandered down there, Lori. The library gave me a temporary card. The senior center had hot lunches. Nirvana. Oh, my goodness. Lori said, my sister moved there about 30 years ago. It's time we reconnect. Oh, my goodness. That's right. I'd forgotten about that, Sue. Sharon, Sue says there's also a town in Arizona called Truth or Consequences. Bye, Sharon. Have a great week. Thanks for popping up so we could see your name and say hello to you. Same bat time, same bat channel, right? All right, I'm just going to hit a few of these. And let's leave the needle under here. And, whoops, just kicked something under my desk. Let's grab, my crochet hook is elsewhere. Oh, I bet my little tweezers would do it. Let's see if this will help me. Yeah. If I can just manage to ignore the eyelash trim while I stitch, I think that's going to be the ticket, is you can't really see a whole lot of it. But I'm just going to hit these little bits to hold it down while I feather stitch around. And then I can decide if I want to add more, maybe just a few random seed stitches around here and then some knots. I don't know. But I'm going to think on it. I think this is a good stopping point. I'm going to go pick up my mom and bring her over to the house. And I have a plan. I may work on it this week. I may not. I may just leave it sitting here until next Wednesday and it'll just be in the same spot for us. But I think I'm going to call it. Yeah, I think there's a plan, right? And thanks for helping me figure out the bottom so I know where I'm going to go with that. So glad to see all of you today. Thanks for hanging with me. I hope you have a wonderful week. And now that Mr. Awesome Husband has got my computer back up working again, I can go check in on the group and see what you guys have been doing there. Have a great week. Go out and make your art your way just because it makes you happy, right? Thank you, Sue. I appreciate it. Yep, I will go enjoy my time with my mom. It's wonderful seeing her again. Bye-bye, everybody. Till next week.